When you take home 51,100 and a few odds, heart palpitations at such a young age, you just know I am living my dream. I am living my best life. I want to thank my mom and my dad for taking me to university, because 51,000 at the age of 31 now in Namibia. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to our channel. I'm Woven. If you're new to our channel, we talk all things travel, lifestyle, tradition, and finance. And on today's video, please allow me to have this long intro. So for this series, I just need to introduce it so that we are all on the same page and no one is left wondering, right? So I did indicate in our previous videos that I am getting quite a bit of requests in terms of mentorship, career advice, financial mentorship, and I am more than happy to assist. However, I cannot take everybody on, so I then decided that let me generate more value for our audience on the social media platforms, and essentially mentorship, career guidance, and financial well-being conversations can then obviously happen for a greater number of people as opposed to just the number of mentees that I have, right? So please sit, enjoy this content, and engage with me. Let me know if this is something that you're enjoying, right? So today on career, right, as a child, you would be asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you would find, little kids brighten up and say, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a mechanic, And for me, I can't ever remember answering that question, because growing up, I really did not know what I want to be. But now that I'm introspecting and just reflecting, that's because I did not know that one could become an accountant, right? Or a banker at that point in time, right? So fast forward a few years later, I am here now. And for you, you might be in your late teens or just starting out your career, and you now have to make that same decision. So what is it that I want to get into? So we will be talking a lot about earnings, but I also want to provide just a bit on other aspects that you also might want to consider. Because yes, career finance is a big part of it, but it's not all of it. So you would want to look at things like, what are your hobbies? What are you passionate about? What do you enjoy doing, right? Why would you want to wake up every day, or what would you want to wake up every day doing? So those things can then also help you inform your decision in terms of what your career line would be, right? Like for me, when I got to high school, I think accounting just came naturally. I didn't force it, and also at that point in time, my accounting teacher spoke quite into me, like the words of affirmation to say, this one, natural accountant. And ordinarily, then everyone around me also started speaking that same language. So I did not end up being an accountant, but then obviously I am working with numbers and finance, and I absolutely love it. Now, on today's video, we received a couple of payslips, earnings, and I want to thank everybody that participated, that trusted me with their information, really. And I appreciate it. So if you want to partake and just help us journey together and also help those that are seeking career guidance, please feel free to DM me on Instagram, and I'll just need payslip, journey, years of experience, and what essentially you studied. Yeah, so thank you very much in advance. Now, when you take home 51,100 and a few odds, heart palpitations at such a young age, you just know I am living my dream. I am living my best life. I want to thank my mom and my dad for taking me to university, because 51,000 at the age of 31 now in Namibia. Well done, right? So the first payslip, and all the payslips I got quite decent earnings. I mean, if I just look at the statistics or the census stats that were published, I think most of those guys either fall in the 1% or just the next bracket, right? So the first one, they indicated they net gross mutual net, spicy, right? They net, is it me that doesn't know how to operate this thing of wat gaan hier aan? Mariki, wat gaan hier aan? So they net 22,523 Namibian dollars, right? And they are a retirement fund administrator. You know, I love that fraternity, retirement funds, pension funds, asset management. So they work for a retirement fund, and they are retirement fund administrator. They indicated that they have 2 years of experience, and they studied undergrad, Bachelor of Accounting, right? 2 years of experience and undergrad, Bachelor of Accounting. That's it. So they have a basic salary of 24,347. Then there's overtime there. That's nice. I like companies that recognize overtime, right? So there's overtime of 4,153. Then there's no pension. That's a bit worrisome, especially because they work for a retirement fund. Yeah, and then there's social security of 81. Hasn't social security increased? Maybe the company pays a bit of it, I don't know. Then they pay tax of 5,896. But I'm guessing you're probably 21, 23. Oh, there's no, yeah, there's the ID number. They are 23 years old. They turn 24 soon. So 2 years of experience, and their take home is 22,523. I think it's still fairly decent. You could get a reasonable or affordable car if you don't have one already, if you're looking for one, and still have decent living, right? So that's the first one. Then the second one, this person painted a bit of a journey, and thank you very much again for just taking time out to paint the journey. So they didn't share their previous earnings, but what they did share is they do have 8 years of experience. This is nice. That is quite a decent number of years of experience. And then they also shared when they got into management position, and then after their promotion as well. So right here, they work for an asset management company, and in late 2024 they got promoted, right? But before that they were an operations manager for an asset management company, and their take home was 37,772 Namibian dollars. Wow. Just wow, right? And their total cost to company was 45,000. Something is amiss, or maybe not, because if your TCT is 45,000, so their tax, okay, I see there's quite a bit of structuring in this payslip. The taxman does allow you housing portion can be tax-free, and then there's a car, and then I see there's also cell phone allowance. So their total earnings is 43,202, but total cost to company, I see that there's provident and pension here. Okay, so pension fund is 750, provident fund, oh no, so this is maybe the total year-to-date details. Okay, sorry about that. So the net pay is then 37,772. What I could do with a 37,772. And then what else? What I am picking up here is their tax is 3,643. There's social security that I guess is shared between the individual and the firm. Then there's provident fund of 444. This is a bit concerning for me, to be earning 45,000 and your contribution towards pension fund is only 444. So ordinarily you want to take about 10% of your gross towards your pension fund, but I'm thinking this person probably wants to take home more now, but you lose out even in terms of the tax benefit, right? So that's just something that I've picked up. Then medical aid 1.29. Now a net pay of 37,000, I think that's really good. Now here they indicated that they got a promotion to Chief Operations Officer late 2024. So they're a couple of months into their new role, and their nets, the net pay is 51,404. Right? Did I tell you guys their journey? So they do have 8 years of experience. Then they started out in where, but now they eventually got an operations manager role. And after being an operations manager, they were promoted to chief operations manager, to chief operations officer. And they studied undergrad is business administration at the University of Namibia. And then they did their MBA as well with University of Namibia. Okay, well done. So those are their qualifications. That's their net pay. How old is this person? Well, turning 32. By the age of 31, taking home 51,000, guys. My family would know I would not wash dishes. Wow, well done. This is so inspiring and so motivating. So they did MBA, business admin, undergrad business admin. Okay. I think I missed on the previous pay slip, the pension fund. I want to see whether it actually then increased from that 404 when they became, what is it that they're putting towards pension? They're putting 1,895. Again, for me, that's a bit of a concern. To be earning the amount that they're earning and the contribution is only 1,895. So hopefully they do have some other, can only have some other savings and some sort of retirement plan, right? In like a retirement annuity. Okay, so that's one. And then we have one here. They are a finance manager. So the previous person works for an asset management company. Now again, with especially a degree, undergrad in the commerce field, right? Economics, commerce, humanities, that's what it's named, or at least that is what it was named when I was at UNAM, right? Usually they give you the foundations in terms of finance, and you can get basically into any line of business. It doesn't necessarily mean just because you're doing an undergrad in accounting, you then need to pursue the chartered accountant's role. Especially in the finance sector in Namibia, you have got quite a myriad of options. You know, you can join asset management, you can join pension funds, you can join unlisted insurance companies, banks. You know, there's quite an option, right? So you mustn't limit or allow yourself to be limited to say, just because I did undergrad in accounting, I need to find an accounting job. There are actually other jobs, careers that are equally exciting, maybe a little bit more, like portfolio management analysts and the likes, right? So if I was to do it again, I would want to do this route of operations manager, operations chief, operations officer. At that age, I am proud, and I think the earnings, well done. So then this one is a finance manager. They studied their undergrad is a Bachelor of Accounting. Then they proceeded to do their CTA, which is their postgraduate diploma in accounting. And then they proceeded to do the articles. So they did 3 years articles, but then they indicated that they also passed their board 1 exam. But then they ended there, right? They were just like, you know what? Not for now, maybe they are taking a different career route, but I have the utmost respect for people that pursue this audit career, this chartered accountancy. It takes a lot. Personally, I do not have that lot in me. Maybe it also speaks to the earnings. Because personally, I do not have that, just the patience, the dedication, those books, is it gap, what your accounting, it takes so much, but I do see that it's rewarding. It's rewarding, right? But it takes a lot, perseverance, hard work, focus, discipline, right? And I'm sure there are other lines of careers that take as much, with the doctors and people that specialize. So they take home. This person is a finance manager. They didn't go all the way to chartered accountancy. The TCTC is 50,000, and then their pensionable salary is 35,000. I think really decent. And in terms of allowances, so they have benefits. They do have contribution. They have contribution of 10.5. I'm thinking that is their pension or provident fund. Then they have towards their risk, this is probably their life cover, because usually within your pension fund package, you do have a savings component, then a risk component, depending on what the benefits your employer gives you. And within the risk component is usually your life cover, your disability cover, your funeral, right? Probably critical, it just depends. So that's what they contribute or benefit. Then they have medical aid 1.5, then social security of 99. I think this is correct. Social security is supposed to be 99, right? Total allowances, they have a housing allowance of 2.5. So I'm thinking well done, firstly, for keeping your housing quite low, because the non-taxable part is 833, and then the taxable part, as per law, is 1.666. So either they live with someone or they live in their parents' house, or but well done for keeping your housing expenses so low. So in total, basic salary is 40,925, and total earnings is 43,925. Total deductions, they have tax there, pay as you earn, of 7,666. Then they have social security, and then there's medical aid. I think this is 50-50 employer. They have pension of 1.75. Their take home is 30,788. So if I look at the stats from census, right, in terms of earnings and brackets, at least everyone here is in the 5%. So in terms of earnings, quite decent, right? So that is essentially it. I would like specifically the TVET sector. If you're in the TVET sector, I think we're sleeping on the TVET sector. There's so many opportunities there, and if you're in that space, please come through. If you're in mining, please come through. Engineers, I want to see what it is that we have to work with, and for those that want to join those fraternities, to just know what it is that they expect. Right, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys. I did receive actuaries. And one is a student actuary, and then this other one is an actuary. Okay, the difference is probably in their studies and the types of exams. And then there's an IT technician. This is exciting. Again, thank you everyone that is just coming on board. And please, if you want to be a part of the story, a part of the journey, inbox me on Instagram, usually Payslip. You can blur out your names and your personal details and your journey in terms of years of experience and what you studied. I'll see you guys.